Let's talk about the piece that, especially when people come into the space, the money. They think that there's tons of money to be made here. They don't understand how it works. They got to understand CPMs, RPMs, choosing brands to work with, choosing which brands not to work with, sometimes turning down money because it just doesn't fit with your brand. And the other part is from the ad agency, when you get paid. Because I feel like in this space, people don't understand. They think like somebody says, they're going to give you $10,000 and you're going to get that Monday. No, it's like net 90 or maybe net 120 and even after that.
Yeah.
So it gets to a space where you might forget that you did the ad 4 months ago. So talk about that and learning that process.
Also, let me go back to what you asked. If I didn't have enough money, I wouldn't have made it. Because again, you don't bump into the money by coincidence and ain't nobody telling you. You literally got to carve out, how the fuck do I make money from this audience? That's why so many people got audiences that don't make money from it. But for me, I attach brands to mine, right? We speak about it, these ad things, these CPMs. Right now, I got a big deal on the table now for a couple gambling companies that want in. And it's like I'm trying to comb through how that works. Don't know if y'all interested in that or if y'all ever done that. But somebody give you a check, man. You know, I was always like that when I first came in, even with Revolt. It's like, hey, yo, what that money? Yo, that money y'all was saying, like, we agreed to a number. What going on with that number we agreed to? I don't see that number, like.
Not now.
Yeah, it's like, nah, bro, you got to go through certain channels. Even with iHeart, there's certain channels that things got to go through. But as far as ads, man, you got to have audience first. Some people... You got to have audience or you got to have faith in the agency. Somebody that handles the ad got to believe that this is going to do numbers anyway. And that's the built-in fan base I always talk about. Mm-hmm. That people like us had to come in and carve out a space without that built-in fan base from rap. We didn't drag anything over from rap, drag anything over from the NBA, NFL. We stood up when nobody knew that face and said, if I don't be influential, marketable, and truthful, it don't do what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? And we had to carve that out. I think that's something people need to really appreciate.
It's not a lot of people in the space that have, if you look at the top successful shows, that black shows, Gilly was a rapper, Joe Budden was a rapper, Cam and Mace was a rapper, all of the sports shows, those guys played in the NFL.
All the Smoke, NBA.
Drink Champs, Nori was a rapper.
Yeah.
And then also, here's another thing on top of that. We didn't even come in at an opportune time, right? Let's say we came in when the internet first popped off and we got the audience familiar with, that's the people that talk about that. It was crowded in the paint. I come in and dunked on these boys. It was crowded in the paint, homeboy. I went and posted up on these folks. And man, just get the ball down here. They talking about it. They say 3 dudes, get the ball. I got these boys. You know, and that's the thing I think. That's the thing I think people don't get is that's the same thing y'all did. Nobody came with nobody knowing us to say.
In a whole different industry that they didn't think would be possible for our community.
Well, let's talk about some podcast stuff, shall we? So I said this before, and I agree with it, that there's not enough communication between podcasters in the space, especially black podcasters. That's the only people, I don't really know too many white podcasts, so I can't speak on it. But this is hindering the growth of podcasters. It might be small clicks, like if you know somebody, if you're a rapper and your rapper friend comes in, you're going to give them some information. But the average kid off the street is not provided that information. Mm-mm. Why is there a lack of communication amongst podcasters? And it seems to be a lot of friction a lot of times between podcasters. Why is that?
For me, I think half of it, and there's a array of things why this is the case. Half of it is the same reason we celebrate some of these guys that drug their audiences over. Some of these guys were starving artists, right? And so when you are someone who
no names on the bullets, but it's okay.
These ain't even shots. I'm saying, listen, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get to the other layers of it. But I do believe that when you get money, you get peaceful, and it take time though. I think that a lot of this culture has been damaged from the rap game. They come in from a lot of that residue from the rap shit. The rap business, all of that rigmarole, the
crab in
song
the
and
barrel,
dance.
the beef.
Yeah, they come with that into this space, and they've infiltrated from a psychological perspective. But I think it's space for them, right? I'm not saying that it's not space, but I believe when in this game that people really don't want to see other people win. That's why you see me say certain things, because I don't need the relationships. But I promise you, man, if these guys wanted, I big up Charlemagne, I big up Wallow. They've helped me. QCP, Coach K, Lil Baby. These are guys that help me. But here's the thing I'm noticing as I go up. Some of the information becomes useless.
Like what you mean?
You need new information for new levels, and everybody know when they got the new levels that they needed new information.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need. Let me tell people this.
Nobody's telling you at the next level.
Yeah.
So I'll get you to this level, but as I ascend, you have to figure this out yourself.
Or it's not. I maybe don't have the time. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if they know. But I'm recognizing that okay, some of the game that I'm operating with is outdated for my position. Okay. Right? Again, I just told y'all, you come from being in the Super Bowl, you come from watching the Super Bowl to not being in the Super Bowl. So a lot of the game I got was on the other side of the podcast being what it is. You know what I'm saying? So now I need updated game. The new game I need is the ad game, the live show game, the guest game, how to get booking the guests. Because some people get people, I'm saying, Lord Jesus, I got a podcast. I need some of that access to some of these guys, but I don't call nobody. I don't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? I know if I reach in my phone and call Wallow, call Charlemagne, they'll try. But at the end of the day, I think we do have to come together just a little bit more. But you know, I'm a general, so I deal with everybody that's on business. And I deal with them in the right way. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Let's hash that out. What y'all think?
As far as information,
yeah,
I feel like you get to a point where people are happy for you until you become a threat to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's just human nature. I feel like people want to help. People always want to root for the underdog.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the champion.
Yeah.
Like that's true.
Yeah.
People like Floyd when he was on the come up. Once he became Money Mayweather, now it's a threat. And
so what is the help genuine if it comes that way? Because
if it comes initially,
yeah,
we just don't trust each other. Straight
That's
up,
what it is.
And we don't trust each other.
That's what it is.
And we're not vulnerable enough.
And then it be slick things said. See, here's another thing. You got people playing Dr. Evil, right? So there's little bombs being placed in shit, right? So I might got Earn Your Leisure right here, and I might do some shit that ain't cool with some people that Earn Your Leisure cool with. And then it look funny, right? It is like, damn, how you let that happen? Like even with, and I'll say this, even with Ish, that's my guy. Mm-hmm. Me and Ish had a relationship. When my name come up in certain times, I'm saying, damn.
It's awkward.
It's awkward as a motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like, for me, right, I'm a certain kind of guy, man. So it's like, your name come up. You seen it when we was backstage at InvestFest. Certain things will say, I'm like, yo, that shit ain't proper, man. That shit ain't cool. That's how I am as an individual. Not that I'm tough, rough, or nothing, but I just feel a certain way when people mishandle things and you bad witness or you even know anything about it and you don't say nothing. But podcasting, like you said, is turning into rap game.
Right. But imagine, like in rap, like we always make this point in sports and athletics, even in entertainment to a certain extent. When somebody signs a deal, you know what they're signing for. You can see it. Mm-hmm. In this space, it's a guessing game.
It's a guessing
And when we don't trust each other and we're not vulnerable enough to share, it doesn't help anybody.
Is it
right?
lies going around?
Of course. Well, I signed for
Nobody really knows.
I signed for $20 million. Or I did for $10 million.
Yeah.
Well, talk about how you structured this deal because I might be coming up to the plate.
Yeah.
Or the other end of the spectrum is that person who's just getting into the space, who's a spectator now trying to get on the playing field, they're taking a deal for $100,000. They're taking a deal for $200,000. And so now the machine is, I can sign 10 of those instead of having one of you.
Right.
Right. Well, so if we share the information, it's better for everybody.
Let's talk about what we think a $20 million deal looks like. How do we structure that?
So the thing about it is, and I feel like it's interesting because we've never heard anybody ever break down their deal before, right?
Exactly.
But we know, I'll just give some general terms that people might not be aware of. So there's like guarantees, minimum guarantees is a term that all podcasters should at the very least be aware of, right? And that's to say, okay, like this is the minimum amount of money that you're definitely going to get paid, right? So if it's like, all right, if you sign and if you sell no ads at all and your show just tanks for some reason,
still get this.
We're going to get you $1 million a year regardless. Right. You can earn up to $2.5 million if you hit these metrics.
Benchmarks.
So if your show does 2 million downloads a month and you do X, Y, and Z and you put 3 episodes out a week, now that's going to help your numbers. So now you can actually earn up to this amount. Mm-hmm. Now, what I think is going on, because I don't have personal information on this, but I have a strong suspicion that there are 360 deals being offered.
Right? Meaning they eat off any content that's being made.
Or your merch. I need a
merch too.
I need the merch. I
need the touring.
Social media.
I need the social.
Is that a bad deal?
This just depends, right? Because I just feel like,
$5 million a year, merch, everything all in. Is that a bad deal?
It depends on who the show is. So if you're doing 10 million,
is that a bad deal for any show?
It depends on who the show.
Let's give a top.
Well, here's why I say it depends on the show, right? If somebody is doing 10 million, let's say 20 million listens a month, right? And you sign that 5 million minimum guarantee, and that might be over 2 years. It could, let's say it's just for one.
Right.
If you look at who they're selling the ads to, they're not selling it to the pizza shop on the corner, right? They're selling it to Fortune 500, big time, right? And so if you look at it, if you break down, and Rashad is saying if you put out 3 episodes a month, you know how this is structured. When they a week, I'm sorry. When they look at it, they're saying, all right, well, how many ads can we place per episode? Let's look at the 60-minute clip or your episode. They're gonna put 8 ads on it, right? So you do that 3 times a week, that's 24 ads, right? You do that every month, that's 96. You do that for a year, you're doing over 1,000 spots. Now you take the 5 million and you're like, wait, hold on. How much they really selling them for? Because I can go directly to corporate. Let's use Coca-Cola, we in Atlanta. And Coca-Cola can say, you guys are doing 10 million a month. We'll give you 50,000 an episode.
Will they do that?
Well, the hardest thing to do
now is it a good deal?
The hardest thing to do is
hold on, let me just finish it, because that's just one, right? That's just Coke.
Right.
But what if I go to Chase and they tell me 50?
Right. So now you're making
You see what I'm saying? And I do that.
But do you think that's available? I haven't saw that executed
so I'm gonna get
perhaps.
So in terms for that, yes, it probably is a good deal because most people aren't gonna make $5 million, right? So yes, that probably is beneficial for most people to sign a deal like that, just from a pure financial standpoint.
Right.
The hardest thing to do is to get close enough to be next to that situation, to know what the budget is, to have that relationship.
That's
not easy.